Welcome to another Zincast, and we have a lot to talk about today. It's Groundhog Day, and also we have a cold front that's going to be pushing through the area Thursday through Friday. It's actually moving very slow. So yeah, we're going to have a whole range of weather between Thursday and Friday. But first, let's talk about the groundhog, the seer of all seers, the prognosticator, Punxsutawney Phil. Will he see his shadow? And you know what? We have boots on the ground in Punxsutawney, so let's go there live right now.
There is no way that this winter is ever going to end. As long as this groundhog keeps seeing his shadow, he's got to be stopped. And I have to stop him.
Well, all right then. But I do have it coming through in the radio that yes, Punxsutawney has seen his shadow. 6 more weeks of winter, folks. So there you have it. Punxsutawney Phil has spoken. So now let's get on to more pressing issues of cold front. It's going to be coming through there. Now you can see this funnel boundary, okay? It's going all the way down from Texas, and it's going to be extending all the way into Maine. It's a large portion of the United States going to be covered with weather, rain, snow, ice, you name it, okay? And you could clearly see the moisture fetch from the Gulf of Mexico on the radar. And I mean, this storm system, okay, there's a piece of low pressure that's riding along this cold front. That's the storm system, but the rest of it is really the cold front. What happens is when the cold front pushes through, okay, you got cold air behind it, it's running into the warm air ahead of it, causes lift, and at that point, precipitation. Okay, I like to teach you guys a little bit about weather while we do this. But there is also a little low pressure system riding along this front, and that piece of energy is helping to enhance precipitation and so on. So that's why you're gonna have messy conditions. Okay, you're gonna have snow, ice, rain in Texas, all the way up to Maine. Like I said, it's going to stretch across the country at this point. If you're behind the cold front, and the longer you're behind the cold front, snow. And again, this thing does move slowly in the beginning. If you're in front of it, you got rain, and then the changeover pretty much at the frontal boundary. Now, let's talk about our neck of the woods, New York City area. Some of the models, and they've been backing off of them, but some of them earlier in the week were showing pretty hefty ice storm for New York City area, just north and west, and obviously even further north and west. Now that's kind of tailing off. And let me explain to you why I didn't actually mention it in yesterday's video. I mean, I touched on it a little bit, but I wasn't overly concerned about it. And the main thing with ice, and we're not talking about ice pellets, we're not talking about sleet, we're talking about freezing rain, okay? Another little lesson here, okay? Freezing rain, it's a liquid droplet that's falling through the sky, okay? And it's already close to 32 degrees, already close to freezing, but it hasn't frozen yet. And when it hits an object, when it hits the surface, that surface object is below 32 and it freezes on contact. Produces that glaze, super dangerous on roads, obviously could weigh down power lines and trees. So you get how freezing rain is not, it's not nice, okay? It's not a good thing to have. I mean, it looks really pretty when everything has got that glaze on it, but it's definitely dangerous and will cause power outages and so on. But the thing is, New York City, okay? Things that models can't do. This is why the models don't make the weather. New York City is buildings. Those buildings are warm. They give off heat. Tons of cars, okay? Heating up the ground. Practically all pavement, right? Okay? So it's harder to get freezing rain or a massive freezing rain event. You might get some freezing rain on certain objects, right? You left your bike out, just sitting there, and all of a sudden you come out, it's got a glaze on it. But yeah, it's not the most common thing. It's hard to get. You might get a little bit, but it's not as big a factor as some other places, specifically when you get well north and west, even in Rockland County, okay? Maybe I remember 1 or 2 pretty crazy freezing rain events, okay? But you go further north, further west, where you move away from, the urban areas, and at that point that does become a threat. But what I do believe is a threat is a little bit of ice, okay? Not, and I'm talking about sleet, a little mix of freezing rain, a little bit of snow, but it's not a big deal. So, Thursday, let's go some timing. Thursday, you get some showers in the morning, rain starts picking up intensity as the day goes on. Friday morning, rush hour, this is where the concern is. That cold front really starts pushing through. And by the way, this is a powerful Arctic cold front. Behind this, okay, we're talking about temperatures, again, in the single digits and teens. Just wait until Saturday and you'll know exactly what I mean about that, right? This weekend will be cold. But as this cold front pushes through, that rain starts mixing over. Again, I don't really buy too much on the freezing rain threat, but keep it in the back of your mind, right? If you see some glaze, obviously got to take it easy. And then obviously a little bit of sleet, tiny bit of snow as it all pushes through. The thing is, the front is moving slowly, as you can see, but then as it gets towards us, it kind of pushes through and gets past us. And by the way, cold air is generally drier, so you got that cold, dry air funneling in behind it, which does tend to help dry things out and get rid of the precipitation. That is actually something that I will say is that if there are standing pools of water and so on, the ground has been pretty frozen, that as those temperatures drop after the cold front pushes through, then I could definitely see some surfaces freezing after the fact. So that is something to pay attention to, maybe put some salt out and so on. All right, listen, we are obviously still tracking a whole bunch of other things. There's definitely going to be more storm chances on the way. And, you know, I want you to comment below. Do you guys like the groundhog? I got a couple of texts today. Oh, they should get rid of the groundhog. Do you like it? You think it's silly? It's a silly tradition. You want them to get rid of it? Definitely comment below. Obviously, like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so when I make these videos, you know that I made a video. It'll send you an email and be like, hey, okay, Chris made a video. And as always, guys, the models don't make the weather. Apparently, the groundhog makes the weather. Have a good one, everyone.
You got to check your mirrors, just the side of your eye. Side of your eye.